Hello everybody, welcome to Spark with Inspiration. I actually made a video for you guys earlier, but it was inside and it ended up so ridiculously gorgeous outside that I wanted to come film outside as well. And I found some of my old cards that I absolutely love, so I'm excited. So let's see what's going on with the Ace of Michaels. Now, this is about a wonderful new idea and not allowing bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Clear up communication problems with others. Now, this is how I went about my day that kind of clarified things for me. I don't necessarily like making appointments. I don't like have to structure the week out, but I was due for my regular thyroid checkup. So I just called my doctor and I was like, hey, can I get an appointment? They're like, do you want to come in now? It was the wildest thing. And I was like, yes. Because you know, when you have that thing kicking around your head, like I have to make this appointment, I have to do this. And then you start to lament over it. Like, well, what, all the schematics and overthinking and all that. I was like, just say yes to everything and fit it in and learn as you go. And I'm really having the best day. And it's funny how these cards really, really speak to the type of day I'm having too. So I kind of want to just zoom in on each one too, because I love the artwork and I love the writing. So I want to make sure my tripod's up to the task. You know, I feel what happens is when we just go in accordance with a real kind of simplistic day, we get things done. Because I knew I had jewelry that had to go out. I knew I had some private reads. I knew I wanted to spend time outside with my girl who's running all over everything. Come further, come further. Look at Moonbeams. She's crazy. Come over here. Come further. Moonbeams and just a bunch of stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to simplify. I'm going to write down the first 3 things I want to do. You know, I want to get this done, do this appointment, do this read, make this jewelry, get out. It's done. And now I'm like, now I'm going to progress on to the next thing. And as I'm doing this, it leaves me in a nice flow state. So I get good ideas and I feel like I have breadth and width and oxygen in the day and I'm not rushed at all. So whenever you have a wonderful new idea, don't feel pressurized to do it right away. Write it down and be like, how does this fit in my schedule? Like, when am I in a flow state? If it's something creative, make sure you have lots of energy and oxygen around it so you don't feel like you have to quickly do it. I've done this at times with jewelry where I've conceptualized something and I want to make the piece right away, but I might be missing certain things. And I'm serious, I would take shortcuts. If I didn't have gold, I would use rose gold, and there would just be things where I didn't leave time to perfect and do it the way I want. So this is saying really leave the space for yourself so you can go without any hindrance, and you can just go straight to see the progress and see the growth and all of that. Because that's the one thing, when we feel like we have to do something right away, we might cut corners. So just give it a lot of room. I definitely, by doing that today, my day is just being really chill and I'm getting much more done. I'm also operating in a different headspace of when I think fatigue's going to set in. Because I used to get in this thing, will I have the energy to match the ambition, and that bothers me when I really want to do something, go for a walk, play volleyball, plus I want to do this nice surprise for Hagen. But when I leave space in between and I rest and meditate and I calm myself, I realize it's all about pacing, right? So we don't need to go like a banshee with our head cut off. We just got to breathe and eat well and take it easy and go into this. Now, I love this. It's time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded, luxurious and abundant resources. This also happened to me today. And this fourth one. So I'm going to combine these and tell you the craziest thing that happened. So when you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money for a while. Now, I was in the grocery store and I wanted to get some nice fresh fruit and flowers for my doctor and his wife because they're fantastic. They always take me right away. They're extremely helpful. So I went in there and I remember looking at things, and for some reason my mind was going, yeah, but should you, is this an extravagance or you're overspending? And when I put the numbers together, it's like, no, it's not. And how happy would I be to receive if I felt stuck at my office or an enclosed space all day, if I had, fresh roses and fresh food? It would make me feel really good. And it turned out really unique and synchronistic, because here is the thing. Although the fruit was totally sealed in this big thing, it looked so colorful and beautiful, she was just saying, you know what, I don't even know what's issued through medical boards, but she's like, she's like, we can't accept food even with having it be sealed and everything, just because of COVID parameters. And she's like, but I can take the flowers. And then we just started talking, and I just absolutely love them. Now, here's the cool thing. As I was leaving the building, the medical suppliers were dropping off all this stuff, and they kind of backed up a car or two, like you couldn't get out of the parking lot. It worked like a horseshoe, and they came in the part that is the exit, and they were unloading some things. So I pulled in, and then I noticed when I was behind them, so I was going to back out and go in the entrance, but a lady pulled in behind me, and she actually worked there. So she gets out of her car, and in my heart of hearts, I'm going, oh, please don't let this be a scene, because I don't want to have to mediate, hostilities, because she kind of had that look. But I smiled as she went by, and she was quite nice. She just said, listen, this is a medical building, and we really need exits and everything cleared out. So, they were very respectful and nice. And then as she was passing my car, she stopped and she goes, I just wanted to tell you, you look so nice. Like, I love your hat and your outfit. She goes, I thought I'd put on a scarf today too. Like, she was really, really sweet. And she gets back in her car and they proceed to move the truck. So one of the guys on the opposite side is waiting for him to back up. And I had this big thing of fruit still in the car. So I just go to hand him out the window and I was like, would you like some sealed fresh fruit? I'm like, nobody opened it and it's just extra. And he was so nice and like received it so beautifully, and he got all excited and showed the other guy in the truck, and he's like, hey, we have some fruit. And it made the whole situation, like, everything timed up perfectly. They were inconvenienced, yet there was a nice little reward, and then everybody was just kind of working in cohesion and being nice and careful. And I thought everything is worth it when you do things from a generous heart space as a thank you to somebody, or you have extra and you can share. It can make your day. Like, it was just a lovely trade-off of everything. And I felt really good and lifted from the woman's nice compliments. And then I looked over and I saw the fruit, and I'm like, these guys should have this fruit. I can't eat all this. And it was really nice. And that's what I mean when we're in conjunction with the heart space of generosity, that whatever we have and spend will come back to us. And no kidding, when I came back too, that money that I spent I had 5 times that amount that somebody put into my account from a client. So I was like, you know what, there you go. And it usually tends to be that way. So again, time to act upon your plans, really move forward. Creativity is at an all-time high. And I did this too. I went over to IG and I started posting some new things. I had some emerald ore quartz that I was making for a client in France. And I was like, I should make a couple new things. Like, creativity gets going when we're generous and we feel good and we're in a good heart space. So all of that, again, if you can act upon it, do it. If not, write it down so it can be saved in that beautiful kind of like arsenal for creativity later as well. So I am loving that, you guys. And that is your Daily Pop. I just wanted you guys to hear the birds and like see how blue and green everything is. And I'm going to pick up the camera and just show you what's going on. Right now I have all tulips growing in my yard. It's just really green and all the birds are chirping. It's so lovely. I love this Japanese maple. But yeah, it's just ideal. And look who's behind me over here. Who we got over there? Oh, hellosies. Miss Moonbeams over there too. She comes out. If one day there's going to be a way where I just build an addition to this house so she can live with us, because the other cats would be riled for a time. And she doesn't like anybody else really around her either. So if I strike it rich, I'm going to be building an addition on my house just for cats, because that's how it's going to be. So anyway, you guys, comment down below too if you experience this, where you have this surge of generosity in your heart, and all of a sudden you start counting dollars, and then you're like, but should just do it. I promise you that understanding that the universal flow of abundance keeps going around, and karmically you're rewarded. I've never had an instance where I haven't been generous and I haven't turned around. That hasn't been immediately paid back to me in one way or another. It's a really nice feeling. And to you guys, clock in those new ideas and write them down and have them at the ready, because once you start acting on them, it's like a domino effect of great clarity. And this morning I was so lucky. I ran into some of my Esther Hicks cards, and just so simple reminders that it all starts and stems from our thoughts and what we think we're capable of and what we know we can do and how we should forge forward. And we don't have doubts and we don't restrict ourselves. We just get a new story, and that new story is we're going to be successful, generous, happy, kind, abundant, right? And then it starts to roll in. It really does. It's like you're writing your own book in invisible ink, and as soon as you think it starts to be in permanent ink, and it starts to happen. It really is a miraculous thing. And I've been watching every step by step of this day where I've implemented these processes of envisioning what I want to happen, kind of maneuvering everything in a positive, decisive way, and it's been happening. And I just love it, because we don't need these challenges and hardships and anxiety for no reason, right? We can just push through with ease and just kind of flow, not even push, just flow, right? Really beautiful energy today, you guys. So love and light.